Alrighty, y'all. Hello. We're taking a look at Europeans that have had the experience of, well, bumping into Americans. This could be within Europe, their home countries, could be over here in the U.S. Now, let me get it out of the way. There's a lot of awesome Americans, okay? We should know this. We should remember this, right? I can vouch for that. A lot of down on the ground real Americans are awesome, super nice, intelligent people. But unfortunately, stereotypes come from some true places. There are sadly some Americans that just strike out quite a bit and create these stereotypes. So that's what we're going to be looking at here. Should be pretty entertaining.
3 dumbest things I've had said to me as a British person who goes to school or college in the United States. Number 1, I had a person come up to me and say, considering that I'm European, my English is really good. And when I told them that that was because I'm from England, they said, yeah, but his friend is European and he speaks way worse English than I do. And his friend was from France. Number 2, a lot of...
Starting it off very good here. That is about what you would expect, sadly, from a lot of, especially younger Americans. Not the grouping all Europeans together trope. We see it all too much, right? Because clearly English and French people are exactly the same, and they speak the exact same language, which is we don't know what they speak. But it's not English, so they speak English pretty well for a European. You see how this is going? Yeah, good.
A lot of Americans get the Australian and English accent mixed up, which doesn't make sense, but like if you're not used to accents, fair enough. But one time when someone asked me, oh, you're from the UK, so that's like Australia, right? And I said, no, that's like the UK. She then said, those two things, not the same thing. Number 3, when I told my friend that I lived in a village, I had to then convince him for the next hour that a village is not just from Minecraft, and I wasn't messing with him, that villages actually existed in the outside world. 3.
Oh, hell nah. What on earth was this guy? Were they trolling this guy? That's the sad part. They could have been trolling, or you just never know. Unfortunately, there could be people dumb enough to not understand what a village is. A British village at that. Oh, man, that's concerning.
We want to talk about things Americans have said to me as a girl from Europe, part 3. Number 1, I'm like 0.2% Polish. Great. Can you say a word in Polish? Do you know where Poland is on a map? Do you know any famous Polish people? No? Next, you're Polish, so you must speak Russian, right?
Oh, hell nah.
Yes, because it's not like you speak Russian in Russia. Yes, you speak Russian in Poland.
It's always funny, like, if you're hearing these things, these kind of wild accusations from Americans, I'm actually wondering where the Americans get these. Granted, they're wrong, but I wonder even how they get these wrong ideas in their head, right? Because it's odd, right? Like, I don't even know where they would come up with that. Playing devil's advocate here, would it at least be fair to say that Polish, Czech, Croatian, right? Like, these are all Slavic languages, so I feel like let's not be ignorant. They are somewhat related, but of course, Russian is different than Polish, is different than Slovakian. You know what I mean? Like, they are unique, but I feel like they at least somewhat share a big family of languages. But yes, they're different. They're wrong. America was wrong here. You gotta love that. Hey, I'm like 1% Polish. Haha. We're like the same thing. Things Americans have said to me as a Swedish exchange student. Okay, this ought to be good. Can you speak Sweden? Can you speak Swedish? Can you speak Sweden? There's a difference. That's awesome. No, she probably can't. She's from Sweden, but to think she speaks Swedish, nah, not a chance, right? She obviously only speaks English, like everyone in the world, right? Also, have you been to Switzerland? Yeah, because, they're the exact same country. I mean, they're right next to each other, right? Did you have an iPhone before moving to the U.S.? Oh, my goodness. as if they don't have iPhones in like every major country. Seriously? Is that like in Europe or something? Do you have colleges in Sweden? Oh my God. It must be hard to get used to all the technology in the US. Oh, hell no. Sweden, like the little country where Scania and Volvo come from, like that's just one little sector of a whole country, right? And look at the technology in your average Volvo versus your average Chevy. Come on now. Yeah, just a reminder, as someone from the US, I promise we are not all like this. It has to be said, okay? We have to say it.
Americans are so funny. I just got a tap on the shoulder, and this guy was like, oh my God, I had to compliment you. Your outfit is so dope. And I was like, oh, thanks. That's so nice of you. He went, whoa. I was not expecting to have an accent. I feel like everyone has an accent. Americans are so funny.
Okay, now this one I'm a little bit confused, right? Because where did this take place? Did this take place in the U.S.? Did it take place in what, forgive me if I'm wrong. That sounds like a British accent. Or an English accent, right? That I feel like that's a little bit important, and we don't know where this took place. It doesn't actually say in the description either. Well, when it's an accent different from your own, the common accent of the area, then it's viewed as an accent, which is common sense. But hey, you know what? I actually kind of agree. Like it sounded like she was annoyed that he said, I didn't expect you to have an accent. That almost makes it sound like to me like she was in the U.S., and naturally, most people you're going to see in the street are going to be Americans, right? Of course, people travel and there's tourists and someone might have just moved here, yada, yada, of course. But that's not what you expect. Like, you don't expect every single person to be not from here. Hot take. I'm actually going to take the American side here. We don't know, but it sounds like she was in the U.S. and was annoyed that he was shocked that she had an accent. And she's like, everyone has an accent. You have an accent. Well, yeah, from her perspective, he has an American accent that differs from what she's used to hearing. And from his perspective, she has a weird accent compared to what he's used to hearing, right? And to be fair, if she's in the U.S., she's the one in most people's eyes that have the accent. I understand English from England is the real language, the real origin. That's fine. You can have that. Like, that's a fact. But if you're in the U.S. where we talk different, then you're going to have, like, the accent because of your surroundings. Like, people are going to think you sound different when all the rest of the NPCs on the sidewalk are going to have similar accents. You know what I mean? When someone says you have an accent, it's usually assumed that they mean an accent different than theirs. Really, like, that is literally it. That is common sense. It's not like a malicious thing to say. I would say this. So that's why I'm a little bit, like, defending it. I wouldn't mean anything. There's no ill intent behind if I said, oh, you have a cool accent. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's different than mine. Also, over here in the States, this is a thing, right? I mean, if I meet someone from New York or Boston or California, like, we all have different accents, right? Someone from Mississippi or Alabama, right? Everyone's going to have different accents here in the U.S., and people do point it out. Whenever I've gone down south, they know I'm from up north. Like, they can tell I talk different, and they point it out to me.
You're not from Europe, right? Yeah, from Germany. No way. I'm also German. Wow, really? Yeah,
oh my God.
Great,
so accurate.
Great grandma was actually German. It's crazy. Do you speak German? No, I wish, honestly, but I know one word. Nine.
Accurate.
You're not from Europe.
She looks
right?
at her in disgust.
Yeah, from Germany.
I go back to the same thing. I kind of think it's like kind of good in a way if people try to trace, their roots, where their family comes from, and it can vary, right? You have families like my family's only been here for 100 years, which is not that long, compared to like some Americans have been here for 250 years. So their family traces so far back, it's like not even relevant to who they are now. And then you have some families that they've only been here for 20 years or 10 years, right? So it really varies quite a lot. And, I think your roots are still important. And I think it's okay for Americans to want to know where they come from. But yeah, to act like If your family has German roots, for example, you're not, and you're a second, third, especially if you're like a fourth or fifth generation American, like you're not German, dude. POV, you are European and overhear an American conversation and realize Americans are not shallow or unauthentic. They're just radically optimistic. Dude, that's cool. Hell yeah. Some little American shout out, little positivity for once. I appreciate it. That's cool. There are probably some shallow and unauthentic people here, just like anywhere else, but not all of us, right? A lot of Americans are awesome people, like I said, down on the ground, regular people in smaller towns and cities. A lot of awesome people that would do anything for you, right? And I found this comment actually really interesting. America is a country of immigrants. Historically, you had neighbors who spoke German, Italian, etc. You couldn't understand them, and they couldn't understand you. That's why we smile and rely on nonverbal communication to ensure both parties feel acknowledged and safe. And a lot of people, maybe from the outside, don't think about this, but as someone who's been around the Chicago area for my whole life, basically, this is very true, right? Like, we have neighborhoods in Chicago for everything, like you name it. It is always been very segregated like that, right? You have literal Ukrainian neighborhoods, Lithuanian neighborhoods, Italian neighborhoods, Irish neighborhoods, German neighborhoods, Polish neighborhoods. The list goes on, right? And people stuck to their kind of areas for decades. And, of course, over time, everyone becomes more intermingled. But that still exists here in big cities. And I think that's where maybe a lot of what we think of as American mannerisms come from. This is kind of an example of that. I think that is fairly accurate. I love when Europeans say nice things about American. It makes me weirdly Makes me weirdly happy. Okay. I mean, yes, it's a little bit rare, although I would say my comment section is incredible. I feel like our community here is awesome because it's still honest. It's still, fair, right? Like, if I get stuff wrong, people will correct me and stuff, but people are professional about it, and that's what I appreciate. I don't want to be lied to and told I'm the best. Of course not. But I think people are positive and they appreciate me. I appreciate everyone in this community. I appreciate you watching. And I think that's what's cool is, Europeans, I think, are nice, right? It's not like they're terrible people. They're just different. And that's why I love learning about the differences. And I think they are fair. I think that all Europeans aren't always mad at Americans. I think that's, again, a false stereotype like many things we cover here. I think Europeans definitely give credit to anyone, including Americans, when it's due, right? So I think that's really cool.
Dumb things Americans have said to my face while I was here.
These ought to be good.
5 days.
5 days only.
Australia. Oh. I don't know. I'm not from there. Aren't you from Switzerland? Yeah. Switzerland is a country in Australia.
Whoa. She's from Switzerland. Someone said to her, "What's life like in Australia?" I don't know. I'm not from there. Switzerland's in Australia? Whoa. Oh, my goodness. Someone check that girl's pulse. Because how on earth did she mix up or actually join together Australia and Switzerland? They couldn't be further apart. How does that even happen? Oh, my God.
Crickets. Literal.
I mean, yeah, what do you say to someone like that? Oh, man.
Crickets. Switzerland is in Europe, right? Yeah. Next to Russia.
No, not
so what
quite.
What languages do you speak?
Not even next to it. Not even close.
Oh, like English, French, German, Russian.
It's freaking awesome.
Turkish.
That's awesome.
Why don't you speak Swiss?
And
my favorites.
Who's gonna tell her?
Seasons are there in Europe? Like outside seasons? Yeah. Well, the same ones you guys have. Oh, so like April, May?
She asked her what seasons do they have in Europe? Oh, man. we've seen quite a few of these over the years. This one's concerning. Like, I have genuine concern for this, for the girl that this girl met, right? Not the Swiss girl, the American one she's talking about. I'm very sorry that this Swiss girl had to go through this. She was here for 5 days and she heard that. Jeez, guys, come on. We could do better than this. Americans, oh, you're French, so you live in Paris? Me, no. Them. Yeah, because France, isn't like a huge country or something with lots of places. It's just Paris. That's it. The whole country of France, which looks pretty big on a map. It's just a lie. It's just Paris. The rest of it is no man's land.
Hi.
Hi.
And how are you?
I'm good. And how are you?
Yes. Some weather we're having, huh?
Oh, and it is nice. And the birds.
And animals. I love animals. Hi.
Okay. Stop. That's too accurate. I know. I can't defend it. It's completely on the mark. I'm almost a little bit jealous because I actually feel like especially if you're with a group or at least a partner, if you're European and you're here, or you could be in somewhere in Europe, actually, it doesn't matter, right? But if you are like European and you're surrounded, maybe there's a table with Americans next to you. This actually sounds a little bit fun. Like you just eat quietly and you listen. You listen to the free entertainment over there. Right? The overly loud voices, even though they're right next to each other. You heard like the fake cadence they had, right? Hi, it's nice to see you. How have you been? Right? Like, dude, it is hilarious. And I hate to say this, look, come at me, that's fine. I feel like this is a little more apparent. And, American women, right, talk more like this than guys would to each other. That's just my take. I'm not being mean. It's just like more accurate, right? And it's just funny because it comes across as so fake, right? It also comes across funny, though. Like, this must be oddly amusing, probably annoying as well. But come on, this is a little bit amusing to hear. If you're just a fly on the wall or you're a European across to a different table, you get to hear this. I mean, this face kind of says it all, right? This comment, though, oh my God. It is the voice with the intellect that we use in Europe when we talk to a child. In the U.S., they have to talk to each other like that. Otherwise, they don't understand. Come on now.
European in the United States, I have experienced a lot of culture shocks. A lot of them being like food and culture, yada, yada, yada. The main one is small talks. Ugh. So, in English, people are like, hey, how are you? I mean, in the United States.
Right.
Well, in the country where I grew up, you will never catch that. First I came and people were like, oh my God, how are you? How's your day? What do you mean?
Again, this must be so weird to hear. Like a little bit, maybe intimidating is the wrong word, but it just would feel like weird. Like, whoa, what? Like a little bit awkward if you're not used to that, right? It is, it's just odd. And like, it's innocent enough, right? It doesn't come from a bad place, in my opinion. It's just how we interact here, but it does seem a little weird and almost kind of bad. Like if you're saying it to a person that's not used to it, they feel awkward and they don't know how to answer that because like in their country, if someone asked them, how have they been? They would take that literally because that should be a genuine question. And unfortunately, that's usually treated as not a genuine question here. It does come across as a little weird, almost rude, even though it's supposed to be the opposite.
Why are you asking?
Right.
Because I genuinely thought that they care and they just want to know how I'm doing.
Yeah.
But it's just a way how to greet people.
Yeah.
And then I go back to Europe and I'm like, in my language, hey, how's your day going? How are you? And people are just too stunned to speak. They are like shocked because they're not used to that. And if you ask something like that, it means that you actually care. As a European in the United States, I have experienced
it is just one of those weird things it's always going to be a thing because I don't see that ever catching on in most countries. But meanwhile, here in the U.S., the whole, hey, how you doing? Like, I don't see that ever going away. And so unfortunately, these funny, odd, awkward interactions are going to keep happening to an extent. And I just feel bad for anyone that happens to and they're not used to it.
My favourite American insults that I refuse to believe they actually use.
Ooh, okay.
Is trash. Can you imagine an American going, you're trash? Like, I would genuinely just laugh. Number 9.
I'm going to also like confirm if these are real or not. This one is real. You'll hear trash getting thrown around as an insult. In this day and age, yeah, that's pretty accurate still.
I don't believe this is an insult. I refuse to believe it. Bless your heart. What do you mean? That's not an insult. What are you talking about? Number 8.
That is an insult. That is more prevalently used in the South, in the southern states, the Sun Belt area. And you don't want to hear that, because if you hear that, they're going to say it in a nice looking way. It's going to be a passive aggressive insult. And it's basically they're acting like you're not very smart, right? That's what it means. So yeah, you don't really want to hear that one, and that's still relevant.
I don't even know what this means. Redneck. Someone said, "Oh, you got a redneck." I'd be like,
they wouldn't say it in that context. They wouldn't say you have a redneck. It's just another name for like a out of town country, hillbilly redneck. Someone who's little down and dirty and a little wild, right? Someone that would know their way around a city. There's a lot of things it could mean. I'm very simplifying it, but I don't think a foreigner would ever hear that, though. So that's the odd part.
7. This is what I imagine they use all the time because I've heard it in the movies. You douchebag! Sorry, it's just too funny. 6.
That one I've never used. That one a lot of these I actually don't use. I've said trash, like talking trash, like sports. That one's kind of relevant, but bless your heart, I don't say. I'm not Southern. And douchebag is a funny one. I've always thought it sounds silly and goofy, and it doesn't like hit hard. So I've always thought it was a lame insult, to be fair.
Peanut. They actually use peanut as an insult. I love it. Number 5.
No, I've never heard that from anyone, ever. That's news to me.
5. Butthead. 4. One of my favorite ones. Goofy.
Hey, I just said goofy. 3? Goofy's relevant. Goofy, I don't know how to define it. It's just goofy. It's not even really an insult. It's more of like a silly, like, it means silly or odd. And I wouldn't ever use it in it's not like if I said it to someone it's like extremely derogatory. It's just meant as like a jokingly silly little thing. It's not a big deal.
Goober. You're a goober. 2 is the phrase.
No one really uses that one.
I can imagine an American getting into a bit of a road rage incident and them going, kiss my ass! Number 1, the
that
one
one's relevant.
that really I don't even know. You damn Yankee. I just like it, and it's great.
Now, I've thought that was an insult to an American. I've never heard Americans say that to each other. I wonder if that's like an East Coast thing. I've never heard that one either. I'm going to cut it there. Those are some Europeans' experience with America and Americans in various different scenarios and places. Went about how I thought it would go. Very funny, though, and slightly educational. And I thought we found some different kind of perspectives in there than we usually do. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. I appreciate you being here. And I hope your week is going well. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. It's going to be it. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. Catch you later.